All right, ladies and gentlemen, Texas A&M joins us on the panel. Beginning at the far end of the table, allow me to introduce Anriel Howard. Working down this way, we also have Danny Williams. Next to her is Kennedy Carter, and seated immediately next to me is head coach Gary Blair. We will begin with an opening statement from Coach Blair.
You know, it's not just A&M and DePaul. It's what the elite of women's basketball can do to entertain people. And I think we entertained a nation. At least we entertained in the second half. DePaul entertained the whole game. But I was so proud of this team. This wasn't like the Penn game last year when we came back from 21 in the fourth quarter. We just had more talent in that ball game. This game was about two very evenly matched teams that both ran their offense pretty doggone well. But I'm so pleased with the effort. I was pleased with the crowd, how they stayed with us, and this is what Aggies do. We don't give up. We find a way, even when we come out on the losing end sometimes. I was so proud of the fight and the spirit. I gave a game ball for the first time in my career to one of our players, and I gave it to Anriel Howard because of how she played the game. I mean, they were sending two people to block her out. She was on her rear more than she was standing. But God, the fight and the spirit. I know we've had great Aggies over the years in football, baseball, and everything like that, but I don't think you've ever seen a basketball player will this team to what she did today. She willed the team to victory, and these two guards next to me have ice in their veins. They have ice. You got to understand when certain things are not running, or we were given, every time we'd make a great play, we'd get cut on a back door, or they'd post up one of my guards. But all of a sudden, these two here are the heart and soul, because they knew if they missed the shot, Anriel was going to get the rebound, or Lumpkin would be in there and get the rebound. Lumpkin got 10. Went 0 for 5, but got 10 rebounds and made the steal at the end of the game. So instead of pouting because she wasn't scoring, she made a crucial play. This is what this team's all about. But I'm so proud of Anriel Howard because she refuses to let us lose. There isn't a player like her in the country, and I'm just proud to say I coached her. But I'm sure glad to have these two on my offensive side right here because they did a hell of a job. But I appreciate all the coverage that y'all have given us. It's been pretty special to be an Aggie today, and hopefully our men can do the same thing this afternoon.
Let's go to questions for our student athletes, please. Cease.
Robert Sess of the Bryan College Station Eagle. Kennedy, what about the slow start, and then what kicked in? What changed when you went from, looked like you were struggling a little bit, they were guarding you a lot, but then you just seemingly couldn't miss?
I just feel like we had a good talk in the locker room. The thing that brought us together was Coach not really talking down, just helping us and really encouraging us. We kept playing. It was honestly the hard work of our teammates getting loose balls and everybody just staying together. That's what helped me and encouraged me to keep shooting and keep fighting for my teammates out there.
In the front, Christy.
Christy Reekin from the Associated Press. For you, Howard, not only was your coach raving about you, their coach was saying you were probably the reason that the team won and everything you did. What does it mean to you to hear everyone raving about your work today whenever, you know, rebounding usually doesn't get all the glory or it's not so glamorous?
Well, I mean, I'm just honored that people, you know, are recognizing it, but I don't really need recognition. I just want to play hard, do the dirty work, and in order for my team to win.
In the back.
Cody Coyle, KBTX. Kennedy, was there any thought at the 2, or was it all 3 to go for the win when you had that last shot?
Where you at?
I'm here in the back.
Oh.
Were you thinking 3 the whole time?
I knew that we needed a rebound, but I knew that Ariel was going to get it. So my first thing that I did was I looked at how much time was on the clock. And out the corner of my eye, I seen Coach Blair, and I knew that, it wasn't a time to look or try to call a play. I didn't know how much we were down by, honestly. I just knew that I needed to hit a big shot, and that's what I did. I just shot it.
And that you did. Go Kenny.
We'll stay in the back.
Carrie Hall, KX TV. Obviously, you guys had a hard-fought game, and you mentioned it afterwards, but not to take away from y'all's playing style, but how much did the 12th men kind of play into you guys coming back with that renewed energy in the second half?
I think they were huge for us. Every time we came back or we would get a bucket, we would come back on defense and you could just hear them screaming, And I think that really affected DePaul. They're not used to hearing that. And for us, it just gave us that motivation knowing they're right there supporting us. And maybe they're not on the court, but they're supporting us through the whole thing. And so I think that really helped us.
Right here in the front, Christy.
For you, Carter, whenever you were struggling in the first half, how were you able to not get discouraged and be able to keep your head up to do what you did in the second half?
It's March Madness. I knew that anything could happen, but the most important thing was us playing together. I need my teammates out there just as well as they need me. So I wasn't really worried about the first half because it's a long game, and I knew there was a lot of basketball left to be played. I just knew that we couldn't afford any more, not hustle plays or not blocking out or anything. We just had to keep hustling and keep giving effort, and eventually our coach told us that the tougher team was going to win, and we were pretty tough out there tonight.
Anything further for student athletes? We'll go again to Christy here in the front.
Kind of as a follow-up, when you saw that three-pointer drop, what was kind of your emotion, your feeling after, everything you'd gone through in the game?
Well, then I looked at the scoreboard and I seen 79 and 80. Then I was happy. So I was happy with my teammates, and I just was like, wow, that was a big moment. But not just for me, it was a big moment for all of us. I couldn't get the shot off without her rebound. And then still at the end of the game made it even a better moment. So I'm glad to share this with my teammates and my coaching staff for my first year and first tournament ever. So that was a blessing.
Right here in the front, Travis.
Travis Brown with Bryan College Station Eagle. Unreal, were you in position under there at when that 3 got taken off, and what was kind of your vantage point, and what did you see on that play?
Well, I was actually trailing her. I knew she was about to shoot the shot, so I'm like, okay, let me get a rebound position. I was just looking to see where the ball was going to come off at, but when she released it, I knew it was going in, so yeah. I was just in case,
Anything else for student athletes? All right, ladies, congratulations. Thank you.
One more.
I'm sorry. One more.
Also, Unreal, what does it mean to you? I mean, Coach, for all the players he's coached, if he said one game ball, what does it mean to you to get that?
I'm really honored. I've never gotten a game ball before, so just to have my coaching staff and my teammates believe in me, it means a lot. After the game, we went in there and everybody was cheering, so it just feels great to know that they're right there cheering by my side. And as you can see, my hair is wet because they threw water on me. But I'm just so happy. I'm just so happy to have this staff and my teammates right there by my side.
Thank you, ladies. Congratulations.
Hey.
See you guys in Washington.
Class starts again tomorrow at 8.
Oh, don't talk about it.
Spring break's over.
Questions for Coach, please. Here in the front, Christy.
After Carter had the tough time in the first half, did you have any words for her, or what was your message to her?
Yeah, I had a lot of words. And we've had many revivals all year with this team because we have not been a great second quarter team all year long. We find a way in the third and the fourth quarter, but sometimes you've got – it wasn't I was slamming things down. Kelly made some good suggestions on offense that we needed to run. We need to spread out. We needed to drive more. We were not getting the hand check call the whole night until the last 40 seconds. I think that was the last hand check call we got, or the first. And they were doing a great job on walling up on Kennedy and not fouling her on our shot. That's their strength. All I was asking majority of the time was on the hand check fouls before the thing. And that's what you got to do. Sometimes players have got to be in the league a little bit longer to get a few reputation calls, and that will come in time. Here's, besides your question, the first play of the game, we ran a perfect play for Danny, and that was her only basket of the game. And then that's the only time we led until the last shot of the game, 80-79. We got away from the game plan and started trying to run with them early in the ball game and quit running our stuff. And I think that hurt us more. If we would just continue to run our stuff, either inside or outside, we're going to be a very good basketball team. But the game was getting away from me, and our kids were doing their own thing. And that's what you cannot do. You've got to stay with the game plan. So I rambled all over the place, Christy.
Here in the middle, Cease.
Robert Sess of the Bryan College Station Eagle, and what were you able to do to get to the free throw line in the second half, which you weren't able to do in the first? Is that you getting back to running your stuff, or was one or two plays working that made that happen?
Miss a shot, fetch a shot, rebound, score. Miss a shot, fetch it, rebound, score. And that's 20 offensive boards. We got a couple of breaks, but we missed so many easy shots that were wide open, particularly Jazz and Danny. And then they were doing a good job on Kyla, and Kyla wasn't making the adjustments during the game, so I had to go small. Give them credit. The kid that killed us was the Allen kid that went to high school, I believe, with Kyla Hilsman. And that was the one that was scoring over Kyla, and we'd take her out, she'd score over Jazz or Kayla or whatever. But she killed us with those 3 threes that she made in a row. But give that kid a lot of credit. But a lot of it we had to play, hope they missed defense because they were running their stuff better than we were running ours. And they started missing some shots. And we got into transition, started hitting the shots. That's Kennedy's game. That's not necessarily my game all the time, but at the same time, it's Kennedy's game, and that's where she's very good. This was almost a replica of the USC game where she scored 46, and they had nothing to do. They couldn't stop her.
Travis.
Travis Brown, the Bryan College Station Eagle. On that last shot that Kennedy made, is that did you all practice that kind of situation? Were you thinking about calling a timeout? What was kind of going through your head on that last play, and did it play out like you would have liked?
No, we were not going to call a timeout there because the execution, we hadn't really had a sideline play the whole game. Why do I think it? Because they would have doubled Kennedy or face guarded Danny, and we might have had somebody else shoot the shot we didn't want to shoot. Kennedy is better in transition. Sometimes as a coach, coaches overcoach. We have a habit of doing that. For once in my life, I zipped it. I didn't tell her to take the 3. I really would have wanted the drive. But I didn't tell her one thing on that last shot. When she was on the row, I don't know how many shots she made in a row in that last quarter, but it was pretty special. Sometimes you just got to let the kid go instead of overcoaching.
Over here on the side.
Alex Miller with the Battalion. Coach, how big was it for Anriel to have nearly a 20-20 game, especially when Kyla didn't really have her best game at all?
We had to have it. We said before the ball game, our 1, 2s, 3s, and 4s had to get the defensive rebounds because as many 3s as they were going to shoot 30, no matter if they were playing us or Connecticut or whoever, because they run such good stuff, and it doesn't matter what you work on, your kids still don't get out far enough. And Anriel Howard, she's done it all year. Can you believe this kid has not made all SEC yet? That's our fault as a league, okay? Because we only give 8 on the first, 8 on the second, and when you have a team as balanced as I have, or South Carolina had last year or Mississippi State had this year. You get players that don't get their due, and that's tough, but she accepts it. She does her role with a smile on her face. And one of these days, she's going to be a great commentator on our game. No matter if she ends up playing WNBA or pro ball or whatever, she's going to make a great commentator because of the infectious smile that she has and how she relates to people. This kid is a friggin' winner. Don't use friggin', get rid of that one. She's just a winner. And that's what's fun about coaching the college game versus the pro game. You don't see that type of player that can do it like this for the college game. Everybody across the country is chanting Kennedy's name. But they're all the coaches across the country and the fans are saying, I want that kid right down there on my team, Anriel Howard. She wins for you.
Here in the front, Christy, we'll come back to Travis.
To go back to Carter's game winner and how you said you would rather her have driven and you just shut up, like, can you tell me why you decided not to say anything there and what you thought when you saw the shot go in that you didn't really want her to take?
One, when she shoots the ball, it takes 3 seconds for it to go in the hole, how high of an arc that she gets. So generally, I can have a drink of water by the time that ball comes down, and so I've got to be thinking of the next play. If it's a miss, what are we going to do? If it's a make, I was ready to call timeout, but I looked down there and Doug used his timeout, so I was able to save a timeout there. But she's done it all year. But get this, within the last 13 months, she lost the state championship game. She lost the gold medal game, even though she was the leading scorer in both ball games. She's come in and had so many big moments on this stage up here. And you keep thinking something good is going to happen for Kennedy Carter to win a championship. This is a small championship, but it was a big championship. And look at what she did yesterday. 26, 6 steals, 5 rebounds, 11 assists. They had 24 assists, we had 7. But we only had 9 turnovers, they had 7. That was quality basketball. That's what hurts the women's game a lot of time is we turn the ball over too much, not these two teams. This was a Sweet 16 or Elite 8 game that we just played.
Travis.
Coach, that's the first time that you've ever given out a game ball in your whole career, and kind of what was that thought process like? How long did it take you to realize that you wanted to do that, and what was it like presenting it to her?
Well, I think my DOB, Eric Birch, gave me the game ball, or somebody came up and that's the game ball. Well, that probably should be painted up on the trophy case. Well, in 46 years, I've never given one away. But I want to recognize the heart and soul that made the shot happen. It was the atmosphere that she created. I'm sure every little kid that was in the stands is going home on their driveway right now, getting some shots up, or trying to fix their hair like Anriel and just go crazy right now. That's all those school kids are going to talk about tomorrow. The C word for Kennedy, that's what they used to do when Cooper played for the Rockets. Van Chancellor would sit back and call the C play. Well, I don't call it the C play. I just basically call it the Kennedy play a lot of times. Just let her go on certain things.
More for Coach. Cease.
What about it's finally happened, Gary? Now, the last 3 years, you haven't been able to get by the second round, so now you're back to the Sweet 16. You talked a little bit about it yesterday, but now that it's here, what does this mean for your program to get the Sweet 16 again?
What it means to the program, you're a stat person like I am, and you're not going to remind me again of it. So that's very good. Yes, I've had enough pressure, not just to win these 2 games, but what I've been going through coaching this year as I've ever had in my whole life. Personally, this meant a whole lot to me and to my staff to take a team as far as we're taking right now. But folks, I've had enough stress in my life this year to just say, gosh almighty, I wanted it so much for the kids. But remember I said yesterday, how do you go from good to great? You get to the Sweet 16. If you just get to win 25 ball games, it's just another damn good year, and the consistency at A&M is off the charts like it is on a lot of other great programs. But when you get to the Sweet 16 and you find a way to do it, we've gone from a good to a very good year and hopefully a great year. So the pressure is off. We will be totally relaxed once we go to Spokane. And odds are we'll be back on the TV screen watching tonight the Notre Dame game. Odds are that's who we'll play, but don't take anything for granted. Tennessee might have taken something for granted. We got 3 SEC teams that bit the dust. So somebody go back and tell Nell Yes and everybody that we won today, because we were picked to lose. And I think we proved them wrong, that Aggies just don't give up.